Hey Radiant, this is Glenn coming at you with the Monday morning devotion. And I was thinking about the Apostle John a couple days ago, and in our sermon yesterday, Travis was talking about James the Apostle and a little bit of his background. Well, I was thinking of John, and I think he's my favorite in the whole New Testament. There's John the Baptist. I really like John the Baptist, but I think the Apostle John is like my very favorite of all. And I had this funny question in my mind: what would the Apostle John, my favorite guy in the New Testament, say to us today in 2020 during this whole weird coronavirus scare time? So I was just kind of browsing through some of his letters. He wrote the Gospel of John. He wrote all three epistles of John towards the very end of the Bible and the book of Revelation. And I came across 2nd John, which is the fourth to last book of the Bible. And it's super short. It's only 13 verses long. And I was just blown away by how relevant it felt. So I'm going to point out a few things from the letter of 2nd John, and I organized it here on my trusty whiteboard. So let's just look at a few principles from 2nd John that I think are relevant for us today. So first thing, it's a time to, and as you can see, all of them start with W. Just a lot of people have been requesting that I do another alliteration. Just people are constantly emailing me and calling me and saying, we want another alliteration. And so I'm going with the people on this one, okay? I'm just going with popular opinion. Okay, so number one, the first thing I think John would say to us is to walk in the truth. Now, that word truth is used 5 times in the first 4 verses. So he's emphasizing truth, 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 truth. One verse in particular, verse 4, he writes, "It has given me great joy to find some of your children walking in the truth, just as the Father commanded us." And it's interesting because the Apostle John was separated from this group of people. That's why he's writing them a letter. But he says, I'm so happy that even when I'm not there, you're still walking in the truth. And I was just thinking of how we're all separated from one another physically right now, from our pastors and leaders and even from one another. And I think it would give Jesus great joy if we, even in this time of solitude, that if we would keep walking in the truth. And a lot of times that just looks like reading the Bible, binging the Bible, as one of my friends said the other day. It's a time to binge the Bible. And so here's even just a real specific challenge I have for some of you. I know maybe not all of you can do this, but for some of you, pick one of the bigger books of the Bible and just make that your book this week, like the book of Jeremiah or the book of Genesis or the book of Romans, and just attack that book. Just put notes in it, read it up and down. I think that'd be awesome. Next one. Number 2, watch out for deception. Okay, John's super concerned with people being deceived, and with internet, YouTube culture, that is a huge danger today. I mean, there are just so many crazy conspiracies going on right now, even about the coronavirus. But I think more importantly, we want to watch out for false teachings about the gospel, false teaching about what the grace of God really is, who Jesus really is. So just be careful what you watch on YouTube. Number 3, I believe John would have us wait patiently. This is what I mean by that. In the second to last verse of the letter, he says, I have much to write to you, but I do not want to use paper and ink. Instead, I hope to visit you and talk with you face to face so that our joy may be complete. So again, he's away from these people, and he's saying, I can't wait to be with you physically, face to face, because there's something special that happens. And the reality is, for us right now, we just can't be with a lot of people face to face, and it's right for us to feel pain over that. This is not how church is supposed to be. Church is not supposed to be only and primarily over videos and Zoom. And is it a blessing right now? Yes. And that's why John still writes them. He does what he can in the meantime, and we must do what we can in the meantime. But it's right for us to feel pain at not being face to face with our brothers and sisters, but we got to wait. Last thing, and this is, I think, the most important one, John would have us walk in love. There's a story of the Apostle John from church history that even after he wrote the book of Revelation, as an old man, when he couldn't even walk anymore, they would carry him on a cot into church meetings, and he would just say one thing. He would just say, "Dear children, love one another." And that would be his whole message. And he would say that over and over again. And I love that. And you can read 2 John on your own. And let's just end with that, though. The words of the Apostle John from church history, that one-liner, "Dear children, love one another." Let's do that, Radiant. See you tomorrow.